For our final project, we decided to do the sociological perspective on mental health. There are many global issues that affect mental health, and just a few topics are racism, inequality, sexuality, and gender.
Stigmas and discriminations from society. Mental health problems have stigmas and discrimination that make it difficult, worse, and harder to recover. Mental health has been affecting thousands for a long time, and there is still a strong stigma around mental health. These stigmas and discriminations make problems worse, and it comes from society, employers, the media, and even from our friends and family. These can become internalized stigmas when you come to believe the negative messages or stereotypes about yourself. 9 out of 10 people will say that stigmas and discriminations have negative effects on their lives.
These are just images of stats on mental health care and how much it matters. People who get treatment a given year are 45% of adults with mental illness, 66% of adults with serious mental illness, 51% of youth, 6 to 17, with a mental health condition. Adults with a mental health diagnosis who received treatment or counseling in the past year. 23% of Asian adults, 33% Black, 34% of Hispanic, 43 adults of who are reported mixed or multiracial, 49% of lesbian, gay, and bisexual adults, and 50% of white adults. And the second image is another visual showing how many adults compare to the US in percentages. The ripple effect. The ripple effect affects communities. 80% of people receiving mental health treatment are unemployed, and the majority of them want to work but can't. The financial burden of it affects the people receiving the mental health treatment and also the people who are caring for the individual. According to Walden University in 2010, the cost of mental health treatment is between $2 trillion and $5 trillion. And in 2030, it is projected to be up to $6 trillion. While depression and anxiety are considered less severe, they cost at least $1 trillion each year in treatment. Mental health and race. Those individuals that belong to the Black, Indigenous, and People of Color (BIPOC) are less likely to receive treatment, receive the needed care, more likely to receive poor quality treatment, and more likely to end services prematurely. Black men are more likely to get diagnosed with schizophrenia, 4 times more likely than white men. They are more likely to get underdiagnosed with PTSD and mood disorders. Mental health care services for BIPOC are provided in prisons, and this causes a multitude of issues. Over 50% of people that are the BIPOC that are incarcerated have mental health concerns.
This next slide is about mental health and inequality. Research has shown that many different mental health disorders, such as anxiety and depression, and other mental problems relate to and have a big effect from inequality. One main cause that has been found are unequal societies and what people have to go through because of it. Unequal societies can be defined as a social hierarchy, or the uneven and unfair distribution of opportunities and rewards that increase power, prestige, and wealth for individuals or groups. Another term for unequal societies is social disparity. An example of unequal societies can be found through income gaps or wage gaps. Bigger income gaps make the rich seem richer, and the poor are seen as less able. People in more unequal societies are more likely to not trust each other. An effect of this could be how safe or unsafe people feel walking home. Big factors that create these feelings that have been found are how we want to look, how much money we make, how we look compared to others in social media, or all of the differences between others. This slide talks about the correlations between mental health and sexuality, especially as it pertains to people who identify as LGBTQ. Many mental health problems that members of the LGBTQ community face comes from prejudice and social stress. Homosexuality was actually seen as a mental disorder in the DSM book until the early 1970s. The DSM book classifies mental disorders such as anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, bipolar, etc. Because of this, there has been a lot of historical anti-gay stigma that creates fears of rejection and internalized homophobia. Out of the US population, 4.5% identify as LGBT, and of them, 1/3 experience a mental illness. Because being gay is the minority in the United States, There are feelings of minority stress, which comes from poor social support and low social status. An example of this social stress can be found in Stephen Seidman's book, Beyond the Closet, which is actually also found in our textbook. In this book, he has the term normal gay. The term normal gay is actually a social construction and is a person who is easier for wider society to accept. This could be because they are more identifiable with a certain sexuality, whereas some individuals may feel more fluid within their sexuality. This creates really sad statistics for modern day. Examples of this can be transgender people attempt suicide 9 times more than the entire US population. LGBTQ plus adults are more likely to develop an alcohol use disorder or substance abuse disorder by 56%, which is a really big problem in today's day and age, and something that we need to work on lessening the percentage of.
Mental health and gender. Gender determines the differential power and control men and women have over their socioeconomic status of their mental health and lives, their social position and treatment in society, and their susceptibility and exposure to mental health risks. Factors that can play into mental health problems are gender stereotypes like how we are supposed to act, speak, and dress, and gender-based violence, which is violence that exploits unequal power in a relationship. A statistic found is that women are more likely to experience anxiety and depression, and men are more likely to develop PTSD and substance abuse disorders. Also, mental health problems associated with gender can also occur for those who don't conform to a specific gender.